Hey guys, it's Avalon here, and this is my first YouTube video makeup tutorial ever, so y'all just bear with me through this. But I'm really excited to film this video for you. It is my everyday makeup routine. I guess you could say for the winter. I don't wear as much makeup in the summer, and I usually don't wear foundation, but this is my complete foundation everything look. It's what I do every single day. I have for years, and lots of people ask me about it just if I'm out in public, and they're asking me what products I'm using, and I'm like, they're usually all from Walmart, and so I love to share the affordable products that I use. And so lucky for you guys, everything that I'm sharing is just inexpensive. It's from Walmart or Walgreens. I do have a couple of high-end products, but there's definitely other options, and I'll link some other options for you guys. But yeah, so if you want to learn about my everyday makeup routine, then just keep watching. Okay guys, so the first thing that I'm going to be using today is the L'Oreal Paris True Match Super Blendable Foundation. I get this from Walmart, and I've been using it for probably 5 or 6 years. I absolutely love it. I can't remember the exact price, but I know it's under $10. It's very affordable. I know a lot of people use a primer or some type of moisturizer before they put on their foundation. I have looked for some. I've never really found anything that I thought made a big enough difference for me to actually continue using. But I was blessed with pretty good skin. I don't really have much problem with like dry or oily skin. So if you do have a primer or a moisturizer or something that you like to use before, feel free to comment down below on what you use. I would love to try it, and I'm sure anyone else would love to try it. But this is what I do. I usually just blend it in with my fingers. I used to use a brush or a beauty blender, but I just found that this works better for me. I felt like I was wasting a lot of product by using the beauty blender or the brush. So I started using my fingers, and I just thought that worked a lot better. But I just applied all over my face. It is super blendable, just like in the name. I'll use this same shade in the winter and in the summer because it kind of just conforms to whatever shade that your skin is at the time. So that's why I love it so much. It's just a really thin and just a creamy texture, and it's great to just layer on if you need more coverage. I wouldn't say it's a full coverage foundation, but it works perfect for just a little bit of coverage and just to kind of cover up any blemishes or red spots. And I definitely use it for formal events as well. I would layer on just more product until I got the coverage that I wanted. So I feel like this is kind of an all-in-one purchase when you buy this, and because it's so affordable, I just have not found anything that I thought I liked better. So I do love this foundation. I always keep a makeup wipe close by because I do have it all over my hands, obviously, so I'll wipe that off so it doesn't interfere with the next step, which is concealer. And so many people have asked me about this concealer. I absolutely love this stuff. It is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Full Wear, and I have it in the shade 340 Fawn, and this stuff is from Walmart as well, and I'm sure it's under $10. Can't remember the exact price, but I'll try to find that for you guys. But it is a full coverage concealer, and that is very important to me. I love to have full coverage underneath my eyes, and I kind of just add it all over my face, as you can see. I will add this to my eyelids as well, but I also use my fingers to blend this in. I just felt like I could get into my inner eye corner better and just kind of have more control over it. It does take a little bit longer, I think, but it was worth it to me. I do love this stuff. I use it year-round as well. I'm not very picky about shades. I just kind of go with it and make it work. But lots of people have asked me about this, and it's just a simple Walmart brand. You just have to find what works and stick with it. It doesn't have to be super expensive, but that's why I love this stuff. So I do add it underneath my eyes, obviously, and then I'll blend it out on my eyelids. And I do a little bit on my forehead, a little bit on my nose, and just a little bit on my chin, kind of to tie it all together. You don't want just underneath your eyes to be so bright that it kind of is distracting from everything else. I have done that plenty of times, especially in the summer. I don't normally wear foundation, so I'll just put concealer underneath my eyes, and in pictures it shows up really bright, so I've been trying to tone it down, but I do love the coverage. It works very well. Okay, so the next thing that I do is I use a light powder to kind of set all that concealer that I just put on my face. I use the CoverGirl Clean. It's just a pressed powder. It's in 120 Creamy Natural. This is from Walmart as well. I used this for several years also, but I really like the coverage that it gives, and I like the way it smells, so I've stuck with it for a while. But I'm just applying this with a brush that I got from Vanity Planet. It's just a website that has probably a year-round sale. I feel like they're always on sale, but I got a pack of brushes and a case to carry them in for like $30, and it was normally $100, so it felt like this great deal. So this is my second pack of brushes that I've got from them. But I just apply the CoverGirl powder all over my face, anywhere that I put the concealer, and then I grab my L'Oreal Paris True Match Super Blendable powder, and it's in the matching shade with my foundation, and I use another brush from Vanity Planet and just lightly go over the spots that I put the foundation, not necessarily the concealer, because I want to keep that highlighted. But normally on the edges of my face is where I focus, and I don't do too much on this, but I'll just lightly cover my nose, and just kind of keep that in place. So next I grab my e.l.f. bronzer palette, and I'm using the darkest shade in the palette. I'm using an old bronzer brush that I had from another palette that I just ran out of, but I still like the brush, so I was just keeping it. But the Vanity Planet pack comes with a bronzer brush, and I used to use that, so that one works just as well. But I just take this into the indentation on my cheekbone. You should be able to feel your natural bone and just follow underneath where you can feel that bone, and I take it over my ear and on my jawline just to keep it blended and natural looking. I'll do that on the other side, and then I'll take it into my hairline, and I'm basically just making an entire circle around my face, around the edge of my face with the bronzer. I add a lot of bronzer, do lots of contouring, because I feel like it just warms up the face and creates a very flattering shape all over. So to finish up my contouring, I'm going to use that same color once again from the e.l.f. palette, and I'm dipping just one side into the product. I'm just getting a straight edge with that brush, and I'm going to use it to do my nose contour. I'm just doing small strokes in just a straight line on my nose. I feel like the nose contour is the most important, honestly. I feel like it makes such a big difference. I am doing a little more product than I normally would just so that you guys can see the line that I'm making, but I will fix it later. But yeah, I'm just focusing on narrowing the shape of my nose or the look of my nose, and I'm bringing it almost to a tip at the end of my nose, and then taking it up into my eyebrow. So next I grabbed the blush brush that came in my brush pack from Vanity Planet, and my blush that I'm using is CoverGirl Cheekers from Walmart. I'm pretty sure it's like $3. I don't know the exact color because I ripped it off with the tag whenever I was opening the pack, but it's just like a very like pinkish plum and sparkly color. I absolutely love it. I'm not picky about blush, so I just grab anything that looks pretty, but definitely for like the spring I go for something more bright and pinkish, and then in the fall and winter I'll do something with a little more of an orangey, bronzy undertone. For brows, I use the L'Oreal Paris Brow Stylist Definer Ultrafine Tip Shaping Pencil in the color Dark Brunette. I love this pencil. I think it's close to $10, maybe $9 or $10, I can't remember, but I'll just comb through my eyebrows. They're usually wild in the morning, so I try to get those to lay down normally. I love this pencil because it's not anything you have to sharpen. It just twists and more product comes out, obviously. And I just start underneath my brow, just kind of on that straight bottom edge before it gets into the arch. And I focus a lot on extending the front of my brow as well. I like to make them look pretty, natural. I like for them to look kind of bushy and all over the place. So you'll see me drawing some hair-like strokes kind of in every direction. But I do extend them out pretty far, and then I start just filling them in all different direction to just kind of round them off. I don't want them to look boxy, so. So once I'm pretty pleased with the front of the brow and the shape that I've got, then I'll start on top of my brow and just kind of bring that out a little bit, bring it up and add some width to my brow. I feel like big brows just kind of are in right now, and I love the look. So I love having the dark, bushy eyebrow. I feel like it kind of ties everything together. So as you can see, brows are a long process for me, but it's one of my favorite parts about makeup. So once I'm finished with that, then I'll do my eyeshadow, and I'm using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This is from Ulta. I think this one's like $15. It's pretty affordable, and as you can see, there's only one color that I use, and I've used this color literally every single day. Before I had this palette, I had Kylie Jenner's bronzer palette, or bronze palette, and it was for eyeshadow, obviously, and I used a color like identical to this one, and I loved it as well. So I just am drawn to this color. I feel like it's really flattering on my skin tone and my eye color, but I've also used this when doing makeup on like blonde and blue-eyed people. So I feel like it's kind of a go-to for any skin tone, any eye color, or any hair color. So definitely try out kind of a deep burgundy maroon color if you're looking for something new. I feel like it makes everyone's eyes pop. So I just use an eyeshadow brush that I had from another palette in the past. I think it was a Naked palette, and I just really liked it. So it's just your basic eyeshadow brush, but I know the Vanity Planet pack that I had came with another one, but I've just been sticking with this one. So I just apply this in the crease of my eyelids, back and forth in just kind of that semicircle shape, until I'm pleased with the amount of color that I have. I'll just keep adding more until I like it, but I'll just go until it looks even, until it's the color I want. So next I take the smaller end of that brush and I'll dip it back into that same color, which is the color Secret in this palette, I do believe. And I'll just kind of line my lower lash line with this, just to kind of tie it all together. And it just kind of creates more depth, and I like how it makes my eyes look a little bit bigger, and it just kind of ties the bottom in. So the only other product that I use on my eyes is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Eyeshadow, and they come in these tiny little packs, or I don't know what you would call this, but they're so cute. I have this in the shade 888 Ice Latte, and it's got a lot of sparkle to it. I don't know if you could see that, but I'll use that first on my finger. I'll dip some in there in the product, and I'll use it on my nose, at the tip of my nose, and on the bridge of my nose. I do this first because I don't want to get any eyeshadow product on my nose, so that's why I go ahead and start whenever my finger's clean. But that's what I do for the highlight on my nose. So once I'm finished with that, I'll do a little bit on my Cupid's bow, just to kind of add a little more highlight there. I'll rub it in with a clean finger whenever it's too much, kind of make that a little more natural looking. But once I've done both of those steps, then I'll finally dip back in with my finger into the Infallible eyeshadow, and I just start packing it onto the inner corner of my eye and about halfway onto my eyelid. I do this a lot. I use a lot of product on this step, but I feel like this is really what sets it off, and why people are always asking me what product I use, because it has really good pigmentation, and it stays on very well. This is the only color I've used in the Infallible eyeshadows, but I think they have a lot of options, so definitely you could try some others out if you want to experiment with some more, but this one has been my favorite because I can use it for so many things. Now I'll get some product once again on my finger, and I'll go on my brow bone in the arch. I feel like that really defines it and adds some shimmer, and I feel like it makes a big difference, so I always make sure to do that. And I'll just blend it into the eyeshadow, just to make it all look like it's flowing together. And sometimes I wipe off a little bit of product when I do that, of the Morphe Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow. So I'll take my eyeshadow brush once again without any product on it, and I'll just blend that in, bring out that burgundy color a little bit more, and that's all I do. So for my next step, I'm going to add a little bit of liner. I'm using the Too Faced Sketch Marker You're So Too Faced Black Liquid Art Liner. And it is a very good eyeliner. It is super fine, has a super fine point. And I'm just going to go about halfway into my eyelid. And then I'll just barely put a little bit in the corners of my eyes, but I don't go very deep into the corners. And I'll add a tiny wing. I'm not really a winged eyeliner person, but I like to draw out the shape of my eye just a little bit. I feel like it makes it look bigger. But you can skip this step. I usually don't do this. I have here lately been adding this liquid liner, but I'll usually just use the pencil and just kind of smoke it out. So you don't have to do this, but if you don't want the Too Faced kind, there's plenty of options at Walmart. They have so many super fine liquid liners. So that's all you need to look for if you're going to look for another drugstore option for that. So the eyeliner that I usually use is my teeny tiny e.l.f. It's just a black liner pencil. As you can see, I need another one because I'm about out. I've sharpened it so much, but I love this. It's a really good product and it stays on really well. So I love e.l.f. products. They are definitely great for their price. But I just go over the line that I just did and I just kind of smudge it around. I'm not very particular with it. I'm pretty messy with my liner, but I like the way it looks kind of smudged and smoky. And so I'll bring it down about halfway on my lower lash line and I'll do the same on the other side. So one last time I'm going to add a little more of the Secret color from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm just going to kind of smudge and blend in that liner with some of that eyeshadow on my lower lash line, and I kind of drag it down, bring it down a little bit. I feel like it makes my eyes look a lot bigger, and I'll do a little bit of that on the top as well if it's looking a little too perfect, if that makes sense. I want it to match the bottom and look a little smoky, so that's what that step is for. So next I'm taking my Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. This is also L'Oreal Paris. It is my favorite drugstore mascara in the world. It is so good. I get mine in the color Mystic Black. Let me just warn you guys, do not get waterproof because that is so hard to get off. I did that for my wedding and it stayed on, but it was incredibly hard to get off. So I make sure not to ever get waterproof again. And this stuff stays on very well. But as you'll be able to see that I spend a lot of time on mascara. I just start on my top lashes, lifting them from underneath, and then I'll switch back and forth between adding a little bit on top and then continuing. I add several layers of mascara. I'll let it get a little bit tacky, and then I'll keep adding it until I have kind of the fullness and the look that I want. I got a phone call in the middle of this part, so I finished the other eye and went ahead and started filming on this eye, but I'm just doing the same process on the top and bottom lashes. and for whatever reason, it somehow helps to make these ridiculous facial expressions, but I know I always have and I always will. So once I have finally finished my mascara, I'll wipe off my lips from whatever product I have. I usually have some foundation on my lips from before, so I'll wipe those off and get those clean, and I'm going to grab my Becca Ultimate Lip Definer in the shade Breezy. This is a lip liner from Ulta. I think it's about maybe somewhere around $20. I can't remember the exact price, but I love this stuff. I've used lots and lots of drugstore lip liners, and I will say that this one does seem to just kind of apply the best, and it's really creamy. I absolutely love this product, so I always apply liner on my entire lip. Don't know why. I'm not sure if it helps it stay better, but I feel like it acts as a good base. I'm not really a lipstick person. I'd rather use a liner on my entire lip and put a gloss over, so that's what I normally do. So I just line my entire top and bottom lips with this lip liner. So I don't worry too much about getting my lip liner perfect because I am putting a lip gloss over it. I'm using the NYX Lingerie lip gloss. It is a plumping gloss and it works very well. This is from Ulta. Walmart or Walgreens may carry it as well. I'm not sure, but it was very inexpensive. It was under $10, I know. And it just has a really beautiful shimmer to it and a really beautiful color. So this has been my go-to recently, and I absolutely love it. So this is the entire look. This is just my everyday makeup routine, and I've been doing the same routine for years. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun filming this video. Hopefully you found it helpful and you found some affordable products that you could add to your makeup routine. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you. And if you like this video, you can give me a thumbs up and you can subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more things like this. I'll definitely be posting some more because this was a lot of fun. So just thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.